I am Virgil, and I come to deliver those unjustly incarcerated who have stood for their freedom, the freedom of truth, the freedom to pursue one's God identity unencumbered by overbearing laws, decrees, and other dictates by those who do not understand the laws of God among men, who have unrighteously wielded power and authority that is not theirs, vouchsafed by God. These dearest ones stand in defilement of their offices, in defilement of their honor, and what righteous governments have authorized them to engage in. And when such as these do decree this or that which is not in alignment with the holy will of God, it is incumbent upon those who stand for freedom to take the reins of God power, to make the call for the deliverance of those unjustly imprisoned. You have done this day, and so I am come with legions of my angels, along with legions of Archangel Michael, to comfort those so imprisoned, and to protect their energy fields, their light, their wills, their honor, so that when the time is right, and when the outcry is such among humanity that these indeed must be freed, it may be so, yet it will take an upswell of support, primarily spiritual, through holy prayer and righteous decrees to Almighty God, impelling the hand of the Christ to descend in divine justice upon the interlopers in the earth, who wield temporal power, yet not universal or everlasting authority. So the Christ stands before the throne of the Almighty, impelling righteousness, justice, and mercy to descend upon earth. And Alpha and Omega and the 24 elders answer, and there is a divine decree now pronounced in heaven and upon earth, that the saints, the righteous, even if slain, even if falsely imprisoned, will rise, and that their captors and those who have wielded this unjust power shall go down in time, only for a season will the light workers, the light bearers, the light sharers, so be pushed down, dearest hearts. Have hope with hope. Have faith with faith. And most of all, have love with charity, so that that love may increase, that light will be restored unto your nations, unto your governments. For the government shall be under the rod of the Almighty. As you know, this is a divine decree. The government shall be restored, God over man within this world. And when that shall occur, you shall see the light blazing forth throughout the earth, as the human overlords will receive their just due, and the unrighteous shall be judged. By this divine decree, this day, I am empowered with our legions, and those of the first ray with Michael and Faith, with Micah and his beloved unity, to go forth north, south, east, and west, and to seal the sons and daughters of God in their foreheads, as was proclaimed in the book of Revelation by the angel that came to John. Did you know, blessed ones, that that angel stands now in the earth, proclaiming again righteousness, judgment, and divine justice? And so, for a time and a quarter time, you shall see the handiwork of the Lord manifest throughout the nations. And when the cycles are complete and the judgment has occurred, there shall be rejoicing among the nations by the light bearers, the saints robed in white in heaven and upon earth, those who have stood with the Lamb, those who have proclaimed the justice of Almighty God within this plane of being in which you reside. Yes, dearest ones, the battle of Armageddon is being outplayed. Day after day, you see it upon your television screens, your computer screens. You see it in the news. And only those who have an eye for truth and an ear for justice recognize all that is being manifest in your world. Those who are sensitive to the divine strains and the divine vibrations of holy light. Ye are these, blessed ones, as you respond through the impelling light within your heart, the fire within your mind, and the glory of God upon your brow, to our calls and to the action of this justice and this judgment and the mercy from the mercy seat itself. Oh, blessed hearts, I could speak to you for hours of that which we do in response to your calls. Suffice it for you to know that when you are in your own Christ consciousness, abiding in that centered state of being, attentive to the holy will of God, responsive to the Almighty within your heart, there we abide, supporting you, protecting you, enfolding you in cosmic light frequencies, even during this pandemic time, so that you may not go down. You shall rise on wings of light with the angels and the archangels, with the seraphim, the cherubim, the thrones, principalities, powers, with the virtues, and those who have been given authority in the footstool kingdom through the prayers of the righteous to act on your behalf. Yes, the 9 choirs stand throughout the earth and the atmosphere thereof, and wield the authority of Almighty God this hour for the light to descend where light bearers make that call. So, dearest ones, it is a time to make the call, make the call, make the call throughout each 24-hour cycle. For as you know, the flame descends again and must be re-invoked. Therefore, spend time with God in the recesses of your heart. Spend time communing with your source, with the Almighty and the angelic beings who support the will, wisdom, and love, the triune action of light of the source of all life and light throughout the universe. And as you spend that time in defense of truth, honor, and integrity, we will support you. We will seal the action of your prayers in a mighty, transcendent, powerful manifestation that, wielded by you under the rod of your own Christ consciousness, will make the difference in this hour, in this time of Armageddon. Long, long ago it was prophesied by one called of God to so announce the dictates of heaven, that the angel of deliverance would come and that mankind would be freed from the ignoble actions and dictates of the dark ones. And that time is now, and you have seen this very day the outplaying of prophecy. Reread the scriptures, especially the last 11 chapters of Revelation, dearest ones, to understand the dynamics of all that is transpiring in this time which is your time with God and God's time with you. As you discern truth, as you understand the outplaying of prophecies, east and west, you will know your place within this manifestation of God's glory. Do not fear, blessed ones, for fear is the antithesis of the Aquarian light of love that is required for the victory spiral to manifest in all domains. Love, perfect love, conquers and casts out fear. Remember this each day as you see all manner of evils manifesting throughout the world, the decadence of those who are called to task this day. You will know that it simply takes resolve, determination, God consciousness, and total faith and belief and courage to stand with those who, like you, stand for the truth, who stand for virtue, who stand for honor and integrity. When you stand for those who stand for the light and freedom, I can tell you that numberless numbers of angels also stand to protect all of you, blessed hearts. Remember this. Visualize it. Know it within your heart. And it shall always be that you are sealed in that great light of divine authority and virtue. Now the Divine Mother comes to comfort those who have been mistreated, abused in any way of late. And one mighty angel stands over the spirit of Kyle Rittenhouse. You shall see the glory of the Lord manifest through what he and his team of attorneys will do soon. And those who lie, those who abuse the authority given unto them in this domain through the media, will be called to task. And you shall see the work of the Lord and of many angels of deliverance who work with me, serve with me, dearest ones, outplayed. And truth itself, that new social media, shall broadcast throughout the world a vision for America and the world that can be when those sons and daughters of God, empowered by the will and authority of the Almighty, stand in defense of what is real rather than what is temporal and illusory, what is Mayic and impure. Yes, dearest ones, it requires cosmic resolve, the force of the authority of God's will to overcome darkness and the tyranny of this day. The tyrants are judged, as you have heard, and will no longer be able to hold sway within this world beyond a certain time. And that time is nigh, and that season is here, and that cycle is right before your eyes playing out, as you have seen. Thus I have come, and the empowerment that I give to those who utilize the science of the spoken word is great when you wield it with the authority of your own God identity. So use this power righteously. Do not abuse it through human sensing. Be in your Christ awareness. Speak with the authority of that vouchsafed to you by Almighty God through the living word, the Logos. And when you speak, the word goes forth as a two-edged sword, as it has this day, cleaving asunder the real from the unreal. And the light shall work its victorious, alchemical, and sacred action throughout the earth and all domains, through all nations and peoples. Yes, I am come, and I am a herald of the new day that is dawning right before your eyes. And in this heralding there is the alchemy of love transcendent, virtue, and divine piety manifest, where those who have been trammeled upon and trampled upon shall rise again as the phoenix bird to proclaim divine righteousness and the glory of God upon earth at last. See it, believe it, empower it with your own enlightened spirits. Thus all shall come to pass as prophesied, as proclaimed by the Christ, who, as I have shared, stands before the throne of the Almighty this day in answer to your calls. So be it. It is now manifest. Thank you.